So back to consequences, I guess, or comparisons. Comparisons and consequences. Um, During the Holocaust, General Patton marched 500 citizens from Weimar, I guess that was a village, to Buchenwald, which was a concentration camp. And he did that. These were the upper echelon, the rich, the higher class citizens of that town. And he marched them up there and through that camp because their story was they didn't know that that was going on. And really, those horrors were going on right next door to them. Now, they had a little bit more of an excuse for we didn't know than we do today because we have the internet. And we have the internet telling us of the horrors that went on in the immigration camps at Velveeta, Voldemort's got in Florida and other places, and how immigrants are abused after they've been kidnapped and shuffled off to other countries that we as taxpayers are paying a lot of money for them to put immigrants in their prisons and abuse them. And the reason that President P. Doe is sending them to other countries that will do that is because our laws won't let us abuse people in this country. And he wants to cause the most amount of pain he possibly can. So taxpayers are paying for that. Now, some of you will say, well, that's a fine use of my money. Personally, I don't think that's a fine use of taxpayer money. I don't think a fine use of taxpayer money is sending it to other countries or using it as a to fund turning our military into pirates to steal oil. And rah, 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 oil, gas prices are going down. Well, when you start robbing resources from other countries, I suppose you might get some kind of a benefit, but that makes you a thief. Anyway, so let's get back to Patton marching these people, and they were horrified. Some of them went back home and unalived themselves because they were so horrified over the torture and death and just horrors they had seen. And that kind of went on a lot. I mean, Smittler had a cult following. These people loved him. They believed that he was the answer to all of the problems they ever had. And when Smittler was gone, they unalived themselves too. And the ones who didn't unalive themselves faced the Nuremberg trials. And I think for a comparison here, I don't know whether they'll call them the mega trials, but I think there are a lot of politicians that should be tried because they are turning a blind eye to a man with dementia, a obviously mentally compromised man who is spiraling out of control and who is so set on hiding the Epstein files. Yes, it ties in that he will start wars. He will harm his own people, his own citizens. And I think that by now we have to admit that the reason Republicans are so set on helping him is because there's a lot of them named in those files. And if there weren't, I think they'd be willing to release them. Now, that's an opinion, but Sasha Riley, the accusations that Sasha Riley made, those aren't accusations that you just ignore. And they've been around for a long time. And the man that ran on I will release the files, is now claiming that releasing the files would be harmful to national security. There's a problem there. And that same man is willing to burn the whole world into a big round ball of ash to keep his secrets hidden. And the problem is, his secrets really aren't hidden. The dribs and drabs that have come out are horrific. We know what a perverted pedo he is. And it's become obvious that he's never going to face criminal justice. So the reason they're still hiding them is because there are a lot of Republicans, and I'm sure Democrats too, but there are a lot of them that don't want to face that criminal justice. So burn the world down. Hang on to your sanity.